Hey people, totally fucked that up completely because I forgot to go live. I was sitting there head banging away and then thought, oh, wait a minute, it's not live. I was waiting for Jez to start head banging. At one point, I thought he fell off his chair because his chair went empty trying to head bang. But, you know, he's fine. Everything's fine. Got the big legend. No, he's not that way. He's that way. Got the big legend, Jez, on the channel. So make sure you're loving on him. Everyone, he's doing good. I'm going to try and play music, but I don't think it's going to work because I think you're going to catch me and Jez speaking twice. So, yeah, Jez, take it away, man. How's it going? Arsenal sat there.
All good, mate. All good. Looking forward to this. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we had to cancel it because you came sick last week. But looking forward to that. And I've dug out one of my rock T-shirts from the Rush 2012-2011 tour. Saw them at the O2 that year. And one of my favourite bands of all time, Rush. Seen them about 12, maybe 14 times in my life. Lucky to. Brilliant band. Iron Maiden. We'll talk about them in a bit.
Yeah.
Great intro, man. Great intro. Wednesday night, I'm doing an Arsenal Barcelona preview stream with Kenny Ken and Northside. So that'll be a laugh. And
Nice.
Last night, I did one with TJ, which is absolutely brilliant. TJ's
awesome, mate. Yeah, awesome.
He's top class, man, that guy. And the views have been amazing. So, we had a good chat about the Arsenal team, that Man United game. And if you haven't watched, go and have a look. It's quite interesting.
I mean, TJ's a bit deluded, but he's all right, to be fair. Yeah, he's a good lad. I like TJ.
Class, man. His channel's doing really well as well.
Yes, he is. Good to see.
So, yeah, I mean, fair play to them. He hasn't been going long. And with DVS and Connor now there, they're going to build and build and build. You know, and it's brilliant. Lovely.
100%. Just cheers for that, Jaminio. Ain't home yet, mate. Catch up when you can, buddy. It's a shame I got that fucking intro wrong, but anyway, it is what it is. I can't play music, unfortunately, because you can hear the music and me and Jez speaking twice, so I don't know how you actually sort that out. I'll have to look into that. I'm only a long-haired yeti, you know. I live in a cave. I mean, you can't expect me to sort of know how to do everything. So, unfortunately, I can't play any music in that respect. Jez, you must have been sliding down in your chair on Saturday watching that.
Yeah. We started so well. I really did. I thought, oh, hello, we've shown some passion here. And we're going to actually... I mean, all right, I didn't fall for all the bullshit where I saw people predicting 6-7-0. Let's be real, it's Man United, you know?
Yeah.
I thought, I did predict myself. I said 2-1 to the Arsenal, but we started great intensity and everything, but we were so sloppy in our defence that day. There were some bad performances there. I know there's players out of positions. I get it. I get it, Arteta. You were trying to change things about, and that's what pre-season games are about. But as I said last night, Arsenal, Man United, there is no such thing as a friendly. You know, it's a war.
Well, you thought there was.
Well, it's one of our greatest. They're one of our greatest rivals. And they have been for 40 odd years.
100%,
probably longer.
Yeah.
So the thing that I found, he was like the Martinez tackle. He won the ball. He won.
Yeah, exactly. Just clutching at straws, isn't it, basically?
Absolutely. It's anything. The Arsenal fan base, anything to blame everybody else but Arsenal. And sorry, mate, he won the ball and the player got cropped. Hard luck. It's a contact sport, man. And if you ain't mad enough for it, don't watch it.
Well, the thing is, for me, right, they was mad up for it. And I don't know why you guys wasn't. I'm not kind of sure on that. I'll be honest, it reminded me of the game against us at the end of the season. We passing it around outside their defence and not really trying to penetrate, because the thing is, for me, if you get a team who's kicking the shit out of you, yeah, then put them in a position where they don't want to, where they're going to make a mistake. If you try and get into the goal or try and get into the box, the chances are they're going to go flying in, and you're going to get a penalty out of that. And I mean, don't let Vieira take it if you do get one, but you know, and then sort of do it that way. But you know, I mean, it was a great game. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed it, but I did think you was very sort of like, they're showing you a game that you weren't up for and ready for, and you just sank. You just sank again. And I know it's only pre-season and all this, that, and the other, but the thing is, there'll be a lot of teams that have looked at, that watched that and gone, right, in order to stop this multi-billion-pound team, you've just got to get into them straight away.
Well, and that has been proven. Maybe not so much last season, but it was proven before. You know, and let's just remember last season in our pre-season games, we got off and out the blocks quick, unbeaten, and
you're phenomenal.
Went what was it, to Christmas time? Well, before the World Cup, certainly. I think we got beaten. Man United, I think, was the only two. Or was it Everton? But anyway, can't remember. But
Man United won it. Man United beat
Man United won it. Yeah, they 3-1, wasn't it? It was 3-1 at Old Trafford. Pretty much, we went all the way unbeaten, and we proved that we were a very difficult team to play against. But you know, we're going to get hunted. Arsenal are going to get hunted this season.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Teams are improving. Man United are going to be an issue. Chelsea, they're doing their business. Man City, well, we know all about them, so we're not going to talk about them. But the fact that remains, teams are going to come after Arsenal's blood.
Yeah.
And it's going to, with the teams that have come up, they're going to be off. You know, we know what newly promoted teams are like. They're difficult to play against in the first 3 months of the season. They got they've got a point to prove. And you know, look, I mean, our performance against Nottingham Forest for the past 2 seasons has been bloody awful. Let's get it right. You know,
apart from your first game at the Emirates, we battered us 5-0. But in our defence on that one, we had like 20 players and nobody knew where anybody was going. We didn't even have a first 11. But that's not the point. At the end of the day, you beat what's in front of you, and if we're not up to it, then you beat us. And I said all season, and even if you continued the quality that you continued, I still think we would have beat you at home. I said it, you know, from the start, and it proved out right. But the thing is, the one thing about City that I think is a worry is they're not going to get at you straight away. They don't need to. They play it around you. They do it in a different way because of the quality they've got. So they're not going to be fired in bad tackle, not bad tackles, but you know what I mean, just getting about you and all that kind of stuff. City ain't going to do that because they've got a quality that they don't need to do that.
That's very true. And that's the scary thing. I was watching this thing, slightly different, this thing about Mbappe, want to leave PSG. And I was watching... Lee Gunner was doing a stream earlier on lunchtime today, whenever it was, and talking about Arsenal. You know, people out there saying Arsenal could get him. They could. They've got the money. We've got the money. It's whether we'd pay. It's whether we'd pay the weekly salary.
The wages are astronomical. 500k a week.
Well, they're quoting 800.
800K. That'll really upset Havertz because he's the highest paid one in the team, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Christ. I mean, well, Havertz. yeah. But
might as well play Gunnosaurus on the 8.
Jeez. I mean, let's put it right. Arsenal aren't going to pay that sort of money. They can afford to, I'm sure, but they ain't going to do it. Now, talking about Man City, can you imagine, Yeti, if Mbappe went to Man City with Haaland? It would be...
Oh, it's game over.
It's a steam train, isn't it?
It's already game over now, but, you know, that would definitely be game over. 100%
they can afford it without any question of a doubt. I think Chelsea could probably afford it. Personally, I think he'll end up at Real Madrid because they can afford.
Or Saudi, because they've just put in a massive 300 million offer, haven't they?
El Hali, is it El Hali, the team? Or
Cole Rossi said there.
Yeah,
300 million offer, and they will put the wages forward as well. They must be scaring the shit out of Sky. Before we carry on, I just want to say, because I didn't manage to get it sorted out in the intro, I just want to say we lost an absolute legend today. An absolute amazing football ambassador. He loved football. He obviously, you know, gives me the bragging rights that I've got nowadays. Because if we hadn't won them European Cups, I could have battled you guys. Really, you know, I wouldn't have, you know, I wouldn't have had them bullets. And so yeah, 100% absolute legend. Rest in peace, dude. Rest in peace.
Was he actually ill? Like, did he have something, or was it?
I didn't know anything about it until I actually saw it today that he's passed away. I didn't even know he was ill or anything like that. I'd not seen anything about it, but you don't see anything about anybody until they pass away, do you? And then all of a sudden it's everywhere and it's all over social media. But the funny thing is, right, I was saying to Mama Flossie earlier, how you doing, Mama Flossie? Welcome in. I said to Mama Flossie earlier, that was the first £1 million signing. Now we've got £300 million signings.
Oh, it's mad. It's a mad.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I remember when he got signed for $1 million. And I remember chatting to my granddad at the time. And I said, it was my granddad. He's reading the paper and it came out and he went, £1 million? And I went, oh, he said, Trevor Francis has signed for £1 million. And I was like, really? Like, that's mad.
Yeah.
£1 million. I mean, but fair play to him, mate. Great play. He won you the 79 Cup, didn't he?
Yeah, Robinson cross onto his head, bang, there you go. I like what it says at the end, I do. It says Peter Taylor's absolutely overjoyed, but Clough looks miserable as anything. As he always did. You could score 9, you could beat someone 9-0 and Clough still look miserable on the bench.
Yeah, I tell you what, Peter Taylor and Brian Clough, what a pairing they were. You know what I mean?
Shame they fell out, to be honest.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. I mean, when Brian Clough, when he was at Leeds, it was a bit of a shit show, wasn't it? To be honest.
Yeah. Well, he was done anyway, because if you watch like the stuff that he'd said about Leeds beforehand, all them players was just against him from the start.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They didn't like him because all he said was you're a bunch of like hooligans and, you know, and thugs and all that. And he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong.
I mean, you remember watching, then you had Billy Bremner, that crew, you know, what was his name? God. Oh, God, I forgot his name now.
Billy Bremner. What was the other guy's name? Yeah. I know who you mean, but I can't think of his name now.
Norman.
Hunter.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Norman Hunter. Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you've got a lot of these fans now watching football, then they'd be sat at their screen going, "That's got to be a ban from football." That tackle's got to be a ban from football because it's amazing. I love watching old games.
Well,
it's so much fun.
Last night, I remember watching. I think it was. I can't remember. But it was Jeff Astle from West Brom, and it was Arsenal West Brom at Highbury. I mean, when we had those awful football pitches, they were mud baths in the winter, weren't they?
Yeah, and they played.
Yes.
Didn't call it off. They still played.
Pigskin, remember the pigskin leather balls?
Yeah.
Got out at 16 ounces. By the end of the
day, knock you out.
They're about £2. Remember that? And if you headed it, you get the lace marks on your bloody head.
Oh man!
And I remember it was. I think I can't remember. It was either Bob McNabb or Frank McClintock. They went in for this tackle, and it was at Highbury. I remember it, and you could almost hear the crack. Nobody hurt themselves, but they went in. They got up and ran on. If that was today, dear God, you'd think somebody had been shot with a bazooka.
100%. I mean, you look at Stuart Pearce. I mean, one of the first games I went to, and he went up against this winger, and they both went leg on leg, and you heard, like you just said, a massive crack, and he just broke that guy's leg completely. Stuart Pearce did. He just smashed straight through him. And the thing is with Pearce is he had so much power. Can you remember when he did that free kick and knocked Branco out? For England, he actually knocked him out. Hit him in the head and knocked him out.
I don't remember that. I won't lie. But I mean, proper football. I mean, it's a totally different game now, isn't it?
100%.
I mean, you know, when
this game now?
It is. I mean, when I played football as a kid, you know, we didn't have shin pads.
Oh, nah.
You know, but you'd felt it. You'd somebody kick you in the bloody shins. It sodding well hurt.
Oh yeah.
But now
my favorite tackle was always this run up to the back of people and just take them arse over tit. Just boot the back of their legs and just take them straight arse over tit. I mean, I wouldn't have lasted like a second really on the pitch, but yeah, it was good. That's how I used to tackle everybody. I can remember one time we was playing that, you know, where you got your goalkeeper and then you got two guys because the other guys have scored, so it's whoever scores. And I had the ball and I was messing around with it and stuff like that. And my bro took it off me. And so all of a sudden my bro's running. He's just about to take a shot and he just hears this. I'm coming up to the back of him. Just kicks his legs from underneath him. Goes arse over tit. Lands on his head. I scored and I won. I mean, I shouldn't have won. I mean, I should have been done for it.
That's like the old kick and rush games, wasn't it? We used to play back as kids, kick and rush. And I mean, I know times have moved on and everything. Bit like music, really, you know.
Oh, yeah, big time.
I mean, my daughter said to me, "You've never moved on with music." And I said, "Well, I'm stuck in my time, you know. I'm still stuck in the 70s, 80s. That's the genre I like, and I'll stay with it. I'm not into all this shit, rap, whatever you want to call it.
I don't mind any, to be honest, but I think metal is probably my ultimate favorite because rap is just talking about shooting people and shagging bitches. I mean, it's just boring.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really ever listened to it. I won't lie. You know, it's always been heavy rock, blues, heavy metal for me. Funny enough, I was chatting in the group chat. We were chatting last night, weren't we? About some of the bad days of football and I remember going to the first ever Monsters of Rock.
Oh, I love that.
It was at Port Vale Football Ground.
Yeah.
Burslem. And it was headlined at late last minute by Motorhead because I forget who's got the band that was going to headline it pulled out.
Right.
And then you had Ozzy Osbourne from the Blizzards of Oz.
Oh, I loved Ozzy Osbourne.
you had Triumph, the Canadian trio band.
Remember them? Yeah.
And that gig basically killed them in the UK because the sound was so poor.
Right.
I mean, I thought they were a great band. They've got a lot of their albums. And you had, oh God, forgot his name. Iconic guitar player, dead now. Can't remember. And a band called Molly Hatchet.
Yeah, I remember them. Didn't really listen to them, but I remember.
American band. And yeah, that was at Port Vale Football Ground. That was 1980. That was. I remember driving up there, right? I had my first ever little car. It was Triumph Toledo 1300.
Oh man, yeah.
4 of us drove up there, and it took us 6 hours to get to Port Vale near Stoke. And we watched the gig, got out, got back in the car. The other 3 fell asleep. And I remember I was driving down the M4. Like, I'm like, really, like, you know, nodding. And all I remember was suddenly this. And I'd gone into the gravel on the central road, nearly like going to hit the barrier. I was like, oh. And like,
man,
awful. So, like, 12 hours of driving. And funny thing is, you know, that car maximum speed was about 85 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Old G Reg Triumph Toledo 1300, and it had
I remember them.
It had drum brakes on the front and the back.
Right.
They were like useless. Useless. Yeah, but that was a good old days, man. It was all fun. It was all a laugh.
Well, this is it, innit? I mean, like the first time I went to, I mean, I'll give you a little story on R.I.P. But you know, basically, it was down to me and my brother was at the shop, and we knew this guy. He was a metal guy, and there kept being rumours that he was going to get rid of his metal albums. Don't know why, but you know he was going to. And we seen him. He took a bike up the road and dropped this bin bag into a ditch. So we went and had a look what was in this bin bag. I mean, it could have been his mum's head. I don't know, but you know, we're kids, so we didn't really care about that at the time. And if it was his mum's head, we'd have probably run around playing with it like a lamp or something like that, knowing us at that time. But it was like Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, the first Wasp album, and I think Iron Maiden Killers. And we sort of started listening to the music from that point. My mum and dad thought that we was going to summon Satan at some point because it had this massive metal's always had this massive stigma for being like devil music. Although if you watch Cardi B and that idiot Smith, whatever his name is, I mean, he's shagging blokes on the stage. So I mean, you know, and then there's that Cardi B who's singing about shoving broomsticks up people's asses. So, I mean, I think that's a bit more demon shit than what our stuff is. But we'll always have that stigma, and a lot of bands sort of go with that stigma. But that was how we got into it. And then the next day, we went into town. You know how kids go and buy toys and stuff like that? Well, I said I wanted a AC/DC single for those about to rock. And my brother got Iron Maiden Flight of the Icarus. I mean, for kids our age, it was a bit of a weird one to want stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of where it all started. Where did it all start for you?
Ironically, I didn't really get into music till I was about 14. And you'll take the piss out of me for this one because it was a friend I had. He was a couple of years older than me. And he said, "Oh, you've got to come and listen to this band. Come and listen to this band." And it was Status Quo. and he just bought the Hello album.
Saying nothing.
I know it is. And so he had the Status Quo Hello album, and I listened to this, and I thought, cool, this is, I like the rhythm of it, the good old, 3-chord trick and 12-bar blues. And we listened to it, and we listened to it, and listened to it. And anyway, my birthday was coming up, and I nagged my mum and dad to have a record player. So they got me one, real cheap, bloody shit, no.
Yeah.
Set up thing, and the ones I mean, in a box.
Yeah.
And I got the Status Quo album, and then I got the Hello album, and basically started, whatever little money I could get, buy an album. And I used to drive my mum and dad and my sister absolutely mental. I used to over and over and over and over, and then I got into the Sabbath.
Yeah, Sabbath. Yeah.
And my first Sabbath album was Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
Still one of my favourite albums to this day.
Yeah.
And then I sort of got into various other bands. And when I got to about 16, 17, started to go to a few gigs. My first ever gig, I have to say, was Status Quo rocking all over the world.
Right.
The Hammersmith Odeon. That was in 1977.
Yeah.
And then I got introduced to Zeppelin.
Yeah. Yeah. Zeppelin, definitely.
And that was a complete eye-opener for me.
And
then we came across, I was about 17, 18. It came about this band called Iron Maiden in Essex. And they used to play at this pub called the Rumsey Arms. And so we, one Saturday, all got out to this pub, big pub, and there's this band, Iron Maiden. And it was really early days stuff,
Yeah.
And I thought, this is all right. But they had this one song. They had this one song called "Running Free."
Yeah, "Running Free." Yeah.
Anyway, time went on. We went there loads of times to watch them, and then they went on their first ever UK tour, playing small clubs and stuff like that. Anyway, it came about in. Remember the music magazine Melody Maker?
Yeah, I remember the name. Kerrang was the one I used to get.
And it came up that they were playing at the Marquee in Wardour Street, very famous venue. Stones played there, Zeppelin played there in their early days. Thin Lizzy, Status Quo, all when they were up and coming bands.
Yeah,
everybody's played there. Jimi Hendrix played there. Anyway, so we went down, and London Weekend Television were doing this thing about heavy metal TV program, and it was just when Iron Maiden had released their first ever single, "Running Free."
Yeah.
And
Soon.
For those that might remember, the backdrop they had was just a white skull type face thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Eddie, like who's on your picture. So we went along, got in there. Tickets were like 75 pence. Can you believe that?
75p.
Yeah.
Oh my days.
Unbelievable.
75 quid now.
At least, yeah. Anyway, so we got in there and we're watching them, and it was the singer's surname was Diano.
Paul Diano, yeah.
And he was a singer, and because their currency they got him from Budgie, didn't they? The band Budgie.
I think it was Budgie, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're in there. So it comes this song, "Running Free," right? So you got to remember, in them days, everybody's head banging, got your leather jacket on, you've got your denim cut off, your patchy jeans, all the patches on them and all that bloody game. And
Pints was about 10p, Cole. Pints was about 10p, mate. And
they were, yeah, they were
10p. Oh my days.
Yeah, well, I was earning £25 a week then, and Anyway, so they played this song running free. Yeah, the London Weekend television producers suddenly said, "Oh, we want you to play it again because we didn't get a good sound or whatever." Anyway, long story. They played it 7 times. So the first time's brilliant. Second time's okay. Third time you're thinking, Anyway, the 7th time, the director or producer, whoever he is, comes up on the stage and on the microphone. We need to get a good shot of the song being played and you guys doing your head banging.
Right, yeah.
And everybody's turned around and gone, we've fucked off with it now. Because there's only that's only so many times you can like listen to a song, isn't there?
Well, mate, yeah, 100%. Yeah. I did an AC/DC video shoot. It was for a song called Are You Ready? And we all had to wear these overalls and just stand there going like this. And there must have been about 16 or 17, 18 takes. And I tell you what, I hate that song now. I just heard it over and over and over again. I'm like, and I'll tell you what, you'll like this actually. Well, you won't like the way I reacted, but you'll like what happened. When we actually got to the stadium where we was going to be doing this video shoot, Whitesnake was there as well, which was cool. Status Quo was there. And they was walking across the park because I think they'd just done a video at that point. And my mate was like, "Hey, Status Quo, Status Quo." This side of me, like, yo, when you're a kid and stuff like that. He went, "Oh, do you want an autograph?" I went, "No, I think you're shit." They said to him, "No, mate, I think you're shit." Yeah, and they just walked off. And I was like, my mate was like, "You know what? Sometimes you don't have to just say exactly what you think." And I went, "Yeah, I do." You do. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sure they've got that many fans that just me saying the shit is not gonna like make any difference. I just didn't like them for that. I'll tell you why I didn't like them, because it all sounded the same.
Yeah, 3 Chord Trick, 12-bar blues. I mean, they brought out,
but it worked. Album. Worked though. Worked. So why not?
What was the album called? Finding the Fourth Chord or something?
I don't know. Finding the fourth chord.
It's something like that.
I love that. I love the fact that they actually sort of go with the joke, though.
Well, the thing is, all rock music is based on the blues.
Yeah, of course it is.
And that is quite an interesting thing, really, because when I used to play in a band, and I had a fantastic lead guitar player called Henk Philipson, who's Dutch, obviously. He grew up with Eddie Van Halen. And he used to tell me the stories where they used to go around each other's houses and they'd say, "Oh, I've learned this trick today," and they'd playing away.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Van Halen's family emigrated to America to achieve greatness. But the guy we used to have, he was a very accomplished guitar player. He played on the David Bowie American Let's Dance tour. He's one of the guitarists on the stage. He was guitar technician to the Ramones, Joey Ramone.
Yeah.
In time. He once on one tour, he toured with AC/DC and was I can never think, what was the brother's name of AC/DC? He's dead now.
Oh, Angus Young. Not Angus Young. Bon Scott. There's Angus Young.
It was his brother. Anyway, it was his brother. He was his guitar tech. on one of their tours years ago. So he's worked with some big people, and he was an absolutely unbelievable lead guitar player. I mean, I was shit at lead guitar, personally. I could play a bit, but not to that level. So I just really stuck with our blues and rock songs.
Yeah.
I played the chords. We used to play a lot of Lynyrd Skynyrd. Very much, the old sort of old school bluesy stuff. And Malcolm Young, well done, Carl. Malcolm Young,
right? Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Malcolm Young. I never really into them really, because I mean I thought they was a little bit the same as the Status Quo, few chords type stuff, and I always used to think, everything they do sort of sounds exactly the same. I changed the concept now, obviously, but because they do some decent stuff, and I think I find myself getting more into the old stuff now than I was then. To be honest, I quite like Deep Purple, Saxon, but I never liked him at the time, because at the time it was all Guns N' Roses and Skid Row and Motley Crue and and all that kind of stuff, and I was very sort of Maiden, Wasp, Ozzy Osbourne, them type of bands. I'll tell you what, Jez, I've got to go for a pee, and I've got to get another beer. So if you want to show your guitars, mate, and I'll be back in a few seconds.
Yeah. A few people want to see some of my guitar collection.
I do as well, but I'll be back in a few.
Yeah, no worries, man. This is always my go-to. My Fender Strat. I love this guitar because it's so versatile. Brilliant for playing blues rock, but it's nice because it's a nice weight. It's got I mean, this one I've actually got the tremolo bridge locked down, personally, but I've had this one probably 30 years now. This was the guitar I gigged the most, without a doubt. It's got a few dinks, scratches, which is going to happen, and it's got the obligatory cigarette burn, where we were actually in a practice studio and I stuck my cigarette in there. We went out for a coffee and I left it and forgot all about it. And it burnt it. But that's what all rock stars do, don't they? You stick your old cigarette up in the bottom E and burn it. But it's a beautiful guitar to play because it's.
That one's awesome, man.
I think
Fender. I think I had one of them.
So versatile. With the 5-way pickup selector.
Tremolo.
It gives it so much. You can do so many different sounds with it. It's I mean, I've had this one about 30 years now. And gave them all dust off before I came on. This one. Hang on, let's just put that so it don't bloody fall over. This one is my Gibson SG.
Oh, that's nice as well.
Yeah, beautiful guitar. This one I've had since about 1998. And I've just restrung it actually last week.
All right.
And it's great, but it
looks like the one Randy Rhoads used to play.
Yeah, very similar, very much. This one's got the 50s neck, so it's got the slimline neck on it. It's beautiful to play, but it doesn't give the versatility of the Strat, in my view. It's a very, I think it's only it's a 2-dimensional guitar. It's either, I don't like playing it with the mid position, so you got neck and pick up. It's either one or the other.
Can you play it with your tongue?
No. No.
Like they do, like Steve Vai does, where he's playing the guitar with his tongue.
I'm not that good, man. It's difficult. Difficult enough playing with my bloody, pick.
Carl Rossi, by the way, mate, it was Forest colours, not Arsenal colours.
So it's a beautiful guitar. But it's not. But my dream of dreams is this one. My Les Paul.
That is beautiful.
Absolute stunning guitar.
That is beautiful. Slash Guns N' Roses, man. Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. It's a Les Paul standard.
Beautiful, that is.
Fantastic guitar. It's so heavy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So it's like proper solid mahogany. It's got a 555 some tiger top. I've had this one over 30 years now.
Beautiful condition, man.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've never really gigged this.
I've
never really gigged it. I've played it at home. I've gigged it probably twice. I never popped the pick guard on it. A lot of Les Paul's got the pick guard down there.
Yeah.
I never did that. But yeah, sadly nowadays they mainly sit on the wall.
Yeah.
But this has got the 50s neck again. The action is fantastic on it to play. The only thing that is a problem with Les Pauls is, and a lot of people will tell you, is that if you try to do a down bend on the top E, you can pull it off the neck. So, that is a problem with them. Its sound for rock is unreal, but it's so heavy.
Can you play that Arsenal song for us? Mikel Arteta, the best looking Spaniard we know.
No, because I wouldn't play it anyway. It's shit. But yeah, that's a few of the guitars. I've got a few.
They're awesome, man.
But I don't play a lot now because I had an injury to my wrist here, and
right,
a lot of pain in this joint. It's not carpal tunnel, but it's something else, and I can't play for more than about 5 minutes now. I used to have a proper Marshall stack with I had a 50-watt head amp. Never had 100 because I didn't need it, because venues we played, but obviously we weren't big. But I sold all that because I didn't have room for it, to be honest.
Gonna make him buy another one.
You're gonna make me buy another one. What Carl, what guitars you got, man? That's the classic Sunburst. That's a classic SG. Yeah. And the Strat, of course, is in the Arsenal colours. Of course, everybody knows.
Well, it's Forest, really, but you're
gonna actually think I'm stupid.
We understand.
When I went to buy that in London, they had a seafoam blue one, which is their classic that everybody wants, right? I bought that because it's the Arsenal colours.
Didn't they have one with the yellow and the road patterns on it, like the one you've got now?
No. Don't get me on that one, Yeti. Don't get me on that. That is shocking,
mate.
Man.
What are they looking at? I don't know if you've seen our third kit, but our third kit's just as bad. Black and orange and got like a mushroom on the front. I don't know what that's all about.
Man, I'm sorry. Whoever designed that bloody kit at Dawn is awful. I mean, it's
if go on.
Buy that.
If it was your third kit, I'd be like, yeah, you know, because third kit don't really matter, does it? But the fact it's your actual away kit, so it's going to be seen by people. I mean, and what I can't understand, and this to me makes no sense, because I work on common sense, which I'd like to think a lot of people do. Otherwise, you're probably just stupid. But the thing is, that guy on AFTV that he's shown the shirt to, he said, I don't like it. I wouldn't wear it, but I would buy it. What? Sorry, but what kind of sense does that make?
None.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, £100, and you're just going to buy it and not wear it? What a prat! Hopefully, he was one of them that got punched in the crowd.
Now that's an interesting fact. I saw on somewhere it said Arsenal versus Arsenal, right? In that game. Well, I'm sorry, it was actually Arsenal and Man United fans having the scrap. It wasn't Arsenal against Arsenal. There's Man United fans in there. So I find that awful. I never want to see that come back into this game.
No.
Sadly, we actually witnessed that years ago, and it was scary times when you're involved in it or it's around you. Let's put it that way.
And people are worse now as well, Jess, because it's not just a case of having a fight. They will knife you. They will do anything to beat you.
And I think amazed me was how unprepared the American stewards were. They obviously weren't expecting it, and quite rightly so. It's a pre-season friendly, but it's Arsenal, Man United.
It's ridiculous. It was terrible.
I know there was no segregation, and you know that's good. That is good because it means everybody's having a laugh, having a chat. But that's ever going to happen in the UK. We know that. We know it will kick off. But they were so slow getting there.
Yeah, there was, and they didn't really do nothing when they did. They just went, "Come on, come over here." There's just no manhandling.
I don't think they actually knew what. I don't know if there's anybody watching that is TJ or DVS's. If you get football violence in the MLS, I don't know. I certainly don't know, but hopefully you don't, because I certainly one thing I don't want to see is come back in the 70s and 80s.
I've never known of any of that, and the fact of the matter is, I mean, to me, I don't know. This is just what I'm saying, but the guys that actually, the Man United guys, they look like English guys to me.
They were voices, and some of the Arsenal were as well. You could hear what they were saying. I mean, what that one guy, he was clearly pissed. The Arsenal guy, he was clearly out of his head, drunk or on something. And that's the worst thing, because when people are drunk or doing whatever they're doing, they don't feel the pain straight away. They might do the next morning, but they, as you just said, they'll go to extremes. And unfortunately, in this modern world, back in the day when I remember what was going on, you know, it was kicking, punching, whatever. But nowadays, as you quite rightly say, somebody will come up and bloody stab you.
Oh yeah. Well, back in the day, it used to be all around that when you got the home fans and then the away fans, it used to be about getting rid of the away fans so that the fans could have all parts of the ground. So they could have all corners. That's what it was about. That's why they started. And it was with Hull, because like I read a book on Hull, which is where I got the using shuriken stars and all that kind of stuff and throwing them at you. Basically, they wanted to take over the old ground, so they had the old thing. That's what they wanted to do. But a lot of the hooligan types don't really go to the games nowadays, because a lot of them are actually banned. so the fights go off out the way somewhere. To me, this is my point of view, Jez. I don't know about you, right? But if you want to kick the fuck out of him, and you want to kick the fuck out of him, get out of the way of the real fans who want to go and watch the game. Stick them on a field somewhere and just let them batter the shit out of each other. And I think they'd probably agree with that as well.
That's pretty much sometimes in London that happens.
Mm.
They will have a scrap. I mean, it's all organised. That's the thing. I think is mad. It wasn't back in time when you'd be going to a game. You'd be walking. Example. You'd be walking down White Hart Lane, and you have Spurs and the Arsenal. You have the police down the middle, and it all start kicking off. Yeah. Nowadays, these people talk to each other on the phone.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Right, so, we're going to meet you up, and we're going to meet with you at so and so. They go and have
it is. Yeah, it is. How's the missus? How's the missus? How are the kids? The kids all right? All right, mate. Meet me on Saturday, and I'll kick your fucking head in.
Yeah, it used to be some of these people, right? I'm not going to mention his name, but he was one of the top Arsenal boys, right? He used to work at the market, the fish market, Billingsgate, right? And he'd meet up with a guy, one of the top boys from Tottenham, right? And they'd arrange the scrap.
Yeah.
So they'd have a scrap on a Saturday, kick the shit out of each other, and go and have a go to work on a Monday. You're like,
that's it. Yeah. I mean, it's like Football Factor. I think that's one of the most kind of realistic ones. I mean, like when they're both there watching their own kids at the game, and then they start having a go at the ref, and he's going, "Don't have a go at the ref, you maggot cunt," and he's going, "You can't have maggot cunt," and then all of a sudden they both meet each other and start beating each other up in the goal. That's a hilarious film, man. Brilliant.
I think that's actually quite a true portrayal. To be fair.
I think so as well.
You know,
I agree.
The West Ham Millwall bit, isn't it? And I'm thinking, why? Why do you want to do that?
Yeah, it don't make no sense to me.
I don't understand it, man.
I mean, when I got caught up in it when I was younger, I mean, it was just getting caught up in it. Like I said the other day, if Millwall's in town and they just basically go up to people and go, "Got the time, mate? Got the time?" And basically, you just had to go. Because if you went, it's boom, boom, and that was it, mate. They was on you because they knew exactly where you was from, and that was it. They was in at you, and they just kicked the living shit out of you. I got it once.
Well, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, no fault of my own. I've had it once. Well, more than once. I never went looking. I was never a fighter. I was never a hooligan. I remember doing a stream on Lee Gunner's channel, and he had a guy there who's from Chelsea guy, lovely fella. I know him, and I just said to him, "Oh, it's been a while," and he went, "Yeah, I haven't seen you for a while," and straight away he was going, these two were hooligans. Well, I can assure you, I was never part of the herd. I was never part of the North Bank Army. I knew them. I used to drink with them. I was never part of it. I'm not big enough to be a bloody.
I suppose that puts if you're around them though. I suppose some people are going to mistake you for being part of it. I mean, like, it's probably 8, 9, 10 years ago, maybe. We went into this pub and we was just getting out. It was my family was there and everything like that. See, the thing is with me, I'm not very diplomatic, and I always say it the way I see it. And basically, all my family went out and they got a taxi and stuff like that. And there was a load of, which I didn't know, there's a load of hooligans in the other room, and something had gone off at some point. I went to the toilet and my mates were outside. Didn't see my brother. I'm glad I didn't, because then it would have been completely different. But I walked up and I was right in the middle of all these guys. Yeah. And this is where I'm a complete fucking idiot, just to be honest. Well, I'm an idiot in a lot of ways, but this is one of them. Basically, I said to the guy, I said, "What's going on here?" He says, "Oh, well, they tried to nick our taxi and this, that, and the other." And for some reason, I don't know where it came from. I went, "Yeah, but who the fuck are you?" And all these punches came raining in. They was knocking me all over the place. I just kept fucking going down, getting up, going down, getting up. They got bored of me in the end and just walked off, walked off to somebody else. Because there's no point punching me in the head because I have a really hard head because I've ran into a lot of lampposts in my life. So, you know, my head is really hard in that respect. But, you know, and it was absolutely crazy. And I've got to my brother. My brother got his face cracked in. He's got a metal plate in his face now. I didn't even see him because if I saw my brother in a situation like that, we are that close, I would have just gone off. I would have completely gone off. So I was glad I didn't see him when I just walked out because I wouldn't have said anything. I'd have just gone in punching.
Well, that's what you would do. I mean, yeah, I mean, back in the day, unfortunately, I got myself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because, you know, when you're at games, I always tried to distance myself from the ones that were looking like, but sometimes, unfortunately, you didn't realise they were all around.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, here we go. And it all started kicking off. And yeah, I got smacked about a few times. Didn't want it, but I got it.
Yeah.
And the worst one for me was 23rd of December, 78. It was Tottenham Arsenal. And we went to the White Hart Lane. Arsenal won 5-0. Frank Stapleton hat trick. And walking back down the lane, there wasn't enough police around. And, unbeknownst to me, right in front of us was the firm, the herd, and they were kicking off across the road with the Yid Army, and half a brick came flying across, hit a bloke in front of me on his shoulder, which took a lot of the sting.
Yeah, a lot of the force off it. Yeah,
smacked me straight in the face, split my face, it knocked out 2 teeth, and totally fucked my Christmas because I had a face like that. You can still see the scar. No, hang on, there it is. There.
Yeah. You've seen it. Yeah.
But yeah, not my thing. And
well, I mean, like I've always said to you, mate, like I always say, always look at the positives. I mean, if it didn't hit his shoulder and it smacks you straight in the teeth, then it's going to be even worse, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, cut my lip right across here, the wrong side. That's totally yeah, everything's round the arse about tit, isn't it? And yeah, it was not. It was horrible. Yeah, I mean, if that had hit him in the eye.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like when I went to a Bradford game, right? And there's a little bit more of a story here, because we got off the coach. We was all walking down, and behind me was loads of Forest fans and all this, that, and the other. So you're like, oh, we're all right here, we're good here. And then all of a sudden, I think I must have took the wrong, because I went forward. I went first, and I didn't know Bradford. So I went round this corner, and then I just turned around to like see if the Forest guys were still there. It was all fucking Bradford. I was like, holy fucking shit. I like dived into this pub and was just like, right, I'll go to the fucking toilet. I'll just have a drink and just not speak to anybody. And then we got to the game, and it was for us to stay up. I think we had to stay up. And if they won, then we didn't. And one thing that was really hilarious was, I mean, I'm in the crowd, right? I don't know how this happened, but I think we scored. I don't mean I don't know how it happened that we scored. We did score sometimes, but and then all of a sudden I'm like celebrating, and one of my teeth just went straight out my mouth as I was celebrating. Just went flying across the thingy, and they got the win, and they all came running on the pitch, and it was hilarious because they all came running on the pitch, and all of a sudden they all stopped and looked at us. Thinking, you know what I mean? Shit, this is Forest. We don't want, you know what I mean? They're gonna come out. They're gonna come out and grab us and stuff like that. That was crazy, man. But you know, these kind of things happen. We also had Pride Port where they smashed everything up, and this fucking donut. Fucking, this is why I call them donuts, because basically I'm down at the bottom. He's right up the top. And he's giving me all this, come on then, I'll have you now, and all this, that, and the other. I was like, who do you think I am? Fucking Superman, you prick. You're going to be able to get up there, am I? And then we was all leaving, and our coach got stopped in the traffic. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And obviously, it's Derby fans, so you can understand that. But, like, this guy was walking towards the coach because the coach had stopped, and he got both his hands in his pockets, right? And he's looking all odd and all this kind of stuff. And all the Forest fans start getting out of the coach, going towards him. Keeps his hands in his pocket, just gets smacked once and knocked the fuck out. I've never seen anything like it. What are you doing just walking up with your hands in your pockets? Are you fucking stupid or something?
That's you know, people giving it the big I am, the bravado. And then, you know, I just got no time for it, you know.
No, I'm saying.
Not anymore. I'm 62 now. I ain't got time for any of that. And it's just pathetic, really. I mean, back in the day, I was, you know, as a young man and younger man. I'm not that old yet, but I was younger. You know, you could put up with it. Be fair, but not now. I don't want all that shit. You know,
the thing is as well now though, Jez, is back then there was a lot of times where you could like get into a fight with somebody and it just be you against him, and then basically when you beat that person or that person beat you, they'd walk away and go to someone else. Whereas nowadays 6 of them will just pile in.
Yeah,
and you can't, and it doesn't matter how tough you are or how hard you are. Nah. You ain't going to take 6 guys on all throwing punches at your face at the same time. One's going to hit.
Well, I mean, I remember it was, you know, witnessing. I was witnessing what was happening, and you'd get a scrap, 2 blokes having a scrap, yeah. And when that bloke went down, he might get a kick in the bollocks or in the stomach. But now you get people
stamping on his head,
stamping on their head, kicking them like not one kick in the bollocks, but
yeah,
and that can like kill someone.
Oh yeah, and they did go off like as if they wanted to kill you. You know, it was just stamp.
It was almost like back in the day. There was a bit of a sort of. I'm not saying there was, but it was an unwritten rule. You knock someone on their ass, right? You give them a bit of a kick in, yeah, and then you walk away, and you pick the next one, or or that person gets knocked down. You don't stamp on people's heads or on their chests or keep kicks in the bollocks because
I personally think there was a bit more of a respect thing to it back in the day.
I think I agree with you. I mean, I know Millwall were. I remember I've only ever twice in my life beaten a Millwall, and they were relentless. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
But you know they'd kick the fuck out of somebody. But once you were down on your ass, right, and you're like in the prone position, you know, they'll give you a kicking up the back or you know whatever. But stamp on your head. And unfortunately, I think nowadays, as you quite rightly said, you have 2 types of crew now. You have the crew that are the ground, and you have the ones that are outside. And it's the ones outside are the you because they're the ones who are going to be carrying the blades.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No way you can get the stadium with a blade.
Yeah. And you can always tell when they're there as well, because whenever you go to a game, I mean, I think the last Forest game I went to, on every corner there was like a guy with a great big scar down his face or something like that, and you knew exactly, you know, what there was. I mean, there was one time I went to the Avery pub, which is across the road from the City Ground, and we're playing Bristol City. I told you about it the other day, but this is when there was some Millwall lot as well, because the police kicked him out. I don't know why they was with them or what, but I know they kicked him out. But I can remember because I was around, I went and get a drink, and there was all our guys outside in the courtyard. Yeah. And all I could hear in the bar was, "Oh, I'll have a cider, and all this, that, and the other." So I did what I normally do, and I just walked out the door with all my mates. They weren't into any of that. They weren't fighters. They wouldn't back you up or anything like that to run off. But basically, I just walked out and I went, "Yeah, I just been at the bar getting a cider." And there was all like, "Mate, don't say that, don't say that." We're surrounded by Bristol City fans and all this, that, and the other. And I was like, "Oh shit!" And then this bottle went up, this pint glass went up, and it came down nearly at this girl in the face. And I got in the way and sort of grabbed her and sort of pulled her away so the glass didn't hit her. And then it just fucking went up from there. And I mean, I'm not gonna be the big man. I'm not gonna get involved. If I was around some of the guys that I know who are about it and stuff like that, then maybe I wouldn't have made a head for the exit. Not as in, you know, taking them, because them guys had already gone anyway. I was the only one left standing. They'd gone straight away as soon as that happened. So, you know, if I was with guys that were about it, then different story. But you know, I'm the only one that's going to be doing that, and I'm going to be the one that gets the fucking kicking by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it was mad times, really. I'm thankful. That it's pretty much been eradicated from the game now. Yeah, we know it goes on. We know, and we do get this stupid nonsense of these. Well, we got them at Arsenal, this Ashburton Army, a bunch of fucking pussies.
Yeah.
They're little kids. They wouldn't last 5 seconds in a proper scrap. You know what I mean? If a proper firm came on them, then not going to happen. But it is what it is. But I've got a bail, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks. I've loved it. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've liked the stories, man. I like to hear stories of people nice and stuff like that.
Whatever we talk about.
Yeah.
You know, and
you never asked me once about Forest, don't you care?
Of course I care.
I'm a bit hurt by that, to be honest.
No, I did ask you about Forest, actually. I did. I mentioned that you won the 79 European trophy, and Trevor Francis scored you the winning goal.
Oh yeah, you did. My bad.
Let's be honest. You actually think I'm going to ask you about too much about Forest because you've won 2 European trophies? Arsenal have won shit. So
yeah, but you've got a Les Gibson guitar, so you win that argument.
Yeah, but we haven't won 2 European
trophies. They're coming, mate. They're coming.
I'll tell you now. Much as I love my Les Paul, right?
Les Gibson, Les Paul, I meant.
Much as I love it, yeah, it was my dream, and it cost me a lot of money 30 years ago. I'd give it up for 2 European trophies.
Well, when you get 2 European trophies, you can give it to me.
I think we'd both be dead by then.
Yeah, more likely. No, I do think it's coming, mate. I just think you need a different manager, and then I think you'll have it sorted. You got the players now. Still need some strengthening, but I think you've got it.
We still need a striker, mate. We still need a striker. Eddie Nketiah, sorry, mate, you're not the man. I think I'm going to stick my neck on the line here, Yeti. Arteta is playing him, starting him, giving him his option, giving him his chance. And I think it's going to come a point in this transfer window where Arteta's going to say, "I've given you your chance, you delivered. We're gonna fuck you off." And I'm sorry, mate, he ain't good enough.
Got to, mate. You've got to.
Well, he couldn't do it at Leeds United in the Championship. So, what tells me that he's good? He's no.
Carl Rossi wants it if I'm dead. So it's nice of him to think about me being dead. Cheers for that, Carl Rossi.
Yeah,
nice of him to think of us both being dead, isn't it? You know.
Well, the thing is, Carl. There you go. If you I might donate. I might donate this, but yeah. Trouble is, I don't play them now.
No,
they sit on the wall. Because I've got over there my Fender Telecaster. Let me just quickly show you that. That's 19.
Yeah, go for it.
It's a 65, 1965.
Well, I once had a chance of being a singer for a band, but I kind of bowled it.
Ooh, bit dusty, this one. It's a bit dusty, but yeah,
it's still nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful guitar. I don't play it enough, to be honest.
Newcastle colours as well. You're not a bit of a defector, are you?
Mama Flossie will like that one.
Jez is a closet Newcastle fan, guys.
I tell you what, actually, you're not wrong there. I do like Newcastle.
Yeah, I do as well.
I love the city. The fans are unbelievably good, and it's an amazing place to go on a night out. And I'll tell you what, and I've always said this, I drink with a couple of devout Newcastle fans, very good mates of mine now. The best curry I've ever had in my life was in a part of Newcastle, Jesmond, I think it's called, which is quite ironic because that's what they call me because it's. And
yeah, he's got a pub now as well. Can I have that?
Sorry?
Can I have that in the will? Can I have that if you get to European Cups? Can I have the Jesmond pub?
Yeah. Well, why not? Why not? I actually might be going up to Newcastle game this year with my two friends. They are season ticket holders. So I might be lucky to get. So I don't have to climb the 1,000,000 steps up to the away end because that is an absolute fucking nightmare.
It's got to be posh because it's called Jesmond, so it's got to be posh, Mama Colossi.
I'm not posh. Mate, I grew up in Islington. Come on.
I am, mate. Look, I drink my drink with a pinky up whenever I have a drink.
No, funny enough.
Oh, Jesmond, how you doing, Jesmond?
Funny enough, I had somebody on the stream a few months ago said to me, "You're a YouTuber, and I like your stuff. Why don't you drink beer?" And I said, "Well, I do, but I actually like red wine, and I like to drink red wine when I'm doing YouTube. But when I go to the pub, mates, I drink London Pride. Actually, I like bitter. I'm not a lager man."
Is there any Pride in London?
No, not really. But I like my wine. As Carl Rossi knows, Carl knows. We drink the wine, and why not?
See, what you should have said is when they said, "Why don't you drink beer on your streams?" You should have said, "Because then I'll be another prick like Long-Haired Yeti."
Good point. Good point.
Anyway, mate, I'll let you go because you said I kept you there for a bit. But
no,
mate, it's been awesome.
I'll go for another 10 minutes if you want.
Yeah, all good, man. All good.
Right, I'm going to ask you this, mate. I know you're the host, but I'm going to ask you this: what is, or who is, your favourite Nottingham Forest player of all time?
See, I knew you was going to ask me this because I think I'm a little bit psychic, and I already had the answer ready because unlike a lot of these little pussy bastards nowadays that go, "Oh, you can only have one favourite player, you can't have many." I like to have a favourite player in each position, sort of thing, you know. Defender, Stuart Pearce, 100%. Fucking loved him. Every time he went out, he just tried to smash legs, and that's what I like to see. Not that I'm an hooligan, I've already said that, but you know that does sound like I am a bit. But anyway, midfielder Roy Keane, 100%. It's between Roy Keane and Vieira. But I do like Roy Keane. I always choose the Man United players, so I think I'll watch them a little bit more. But I do like Vieira as well, so that's a tough one. So I'm going to say Keane / Vieira on that one. And striker, not even a thought really. Stan Collymore, mate. He was fucking absolutely amazing. Goalkeeper, they're all going to be Forest, aren't they? Peter Shilton. They're all going to be Forest at the end of the day. And if you ask me, manager, that's obvious. It's Brian Clough. But getting back to Stan Collymore, that guy was just amazing. I mean, my gran used to say to me, "Why does he just stand up there and don't do anything else and stuff like that?" I says, "Well, he does that, Gran, because as soon as they get the ball to him, he just takes it past the whole fucking team and then scores a worldie." That's why he does it. So, I mean, I remember that game against Crystal Palace. Sorry, Diego, if you're in here, but and he nutmegged them players 3 times before he scored.
Yeah, he was a class
fucking class, mate. And I don't know why he didn't get more of a chance at England level, because he definitely had that about him to be that kind of player. But the thing is with Stan Collymore, you've got to play him where you're just leaving him up there and you just fight. You know, the game now where we only have one striker, this suits Stan Collymore down to a T.
Yeah.
Absolutely down to a T. Because he would have just ran it past everybody and just smashed it in. Would you? Well, I mean, this is a really stupid question because you would rather had any crap striker, but would you rather have had Stan Collymore on Saturday than fucking Nketiah? It's a stupid question. It's a really stupid question.
Fuck me, I'll take Shamak over.
Yeah, that is not the best. What about Stan Collymore against Ian Bright? That's a better question.
No, righty.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree on that actually. Even though Stan Collymore's my favourite, Ian Wright was definitely, again, it's another Collymore / Wright, because I think Wright was fucking awesome.
As a player, I don't rate him now.
Now he's a fucking bellend.
He's a fucking bullshitter now, but he's getting paid by the club, so he's going to play the club narrative, and that okay. I can live with it. He's making a lot of money out of it. I don't know whether he always believes it, but like a lot of these pundits, they will do what the club tells them to do because they're getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds. But it is what it is. I'm going to ask you this one, man.
Can I just say, right? Cole Russ is just asked, Yeah, would you prefer to be stung by a wasp or win the Euro Millions? I'd rather be stung by a wasp because I don't want to have loads of money and become a complete cunt like most people do when they get a load of money. I'd rather get stung by a wasp and stay level-headed and all that kind of stuff. Although if I did win a lot of money, I'd still stay level-headed because I'm not a cunt. But Jez, what about you, mate? Would you rather be stung or win the Euro Millions?
Well, I've been bitten by an adder.
Wow.
When I was 14, 76 in the heat wave, and that hurt. Ended up in hospital.
Yeah, I can imagine.
No, mate. Look, I don't want loads of money. Okay, I've got enough money. My wife and I can have a nice lifestyle. We're not millionaires, far from, but we do okay. We enjoy ourselves. We're happy. Our kids are happy. Although unfortunately they never go away. They always come back. There's always something, but you know what I mean? No, I don't want all that.
I've never been money into I've never been money orientated anyway. It's just, I think the richest you can be is have an amazing family and have amazing friends and, and have an amazing life. That's far more richer than you can be with money because you can become a very lonely person with money. And the amount of people that actually commit suicide, who have all the money and all this, that, and the other, it just goes to show because the fact of the matter is if you have all the money, you're going to do everything that's on this planet. So what you got next to look forward to?
Nothing. I think the problem is one thing I think, and I've seen, I don't know any millionaires personally, but I've seen programs. People win all these millions and millions and millions and millions and millions. And very quickly, because your lifestyle can change to such a high proportion, you go out, buy the dream house. You can buy your Ferraris and Lamborghinis, Bentleys, whatever you like. You're going to lose those friends because all of a sudden you're living in a different circle. You've gone up.
Of course you are.
You've gone up a league.
Yeah.
But that league you've gone into, those people that you're now interacting and living with are so fucking box. They're not your friends at all. They're not.
No.
They're not friends that you've grown up with.
No.
And you go to the pub with every few days, or you go out for a meal with once, twice a month, or whatever, or you have a party on your birthday. All of a sudden, that's gone.
Definitely.
All of a sudden, you're buying designer clothes, and which not my cup of tea at all.
No, not mine either.
Buying stupid expensive watches and shit and all that, and you've lost everything like you've lived for. I mean, there's a comment there. Carl says, I just want to own my own house one day and I'll be happy with that. Exactly.
Spot on.
I'm lucky. Wife and I, we've got a nice house. It's not a mansion by any shape or form. It's a nice house. We haven't got a mortgage anymore. So, that's a big weight off your mind because when I see what some people are paying nowadays, what they're paying for mortgages, it scared the living shit out of me.
Oh man, it's crazy.
I talk to young people down my local pub. They've got great jobs, they're earning good money, but when you hear they're spending £1,200 a month on a mortgage, I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
That was the living daylights out of me. But the problem comes with that is, I'm not going to name names, obviously. Two young married couples that I know, they're in their early 30s, right?
Yeah.
Both of them got good jobs, and they're loving it and all that. But this one lad said to me the other week, he said, I've got a lot of pressure on me. And I said, what, work-wise? He said, no, the wife wants a baby.
Mm.
I'm like, all right, okay, fair play. He said, yeah, but we can't afford to lose her wage.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, they've got themselves into a financial position. They obviously they've got a nice house. Never been there, but it's a nice house. Costing them an absolute arsehole a month.
Mm.
It's now time clock's ticking, and she wants to have a family. Fair play. I get that. But he said, we can't afford to lose her money because if she has to stop or go to part-time, when she goes back to work, they've got childcare. Now, I know from my daughter that childcare a day is horrendous.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna have to run to the toilet, Jazz, before I piss myself.
It is absolutely crazy, man. So I think young people now, it's a very, very, very tough world, and especially young couples, because they've got themselves into a bit of a pickle. They've got these massive mortgages that the way at the moment the interest rates are going, it's I don't know, it's going to cause some serious stress, and that I can see a lot of things failing, and that's going to be a tragedy. As remember Flossie said, my first mortgage was £75 a month. Yeah. A bit different now. You'd be lucky to get a decent property, wouldn't you? Like £750 a month mortgage. Seriously. Well, I think that's going to cause a lot of issues with young couples now. Is that it's all right earning big money, but earning big money, you have a big life, and that costs money. So
I think too many people put money in too much of an higher category. I mean, sort of thinking onto it now, which is what I've always said. I like what Mama Flossie said, because I love animals. I love animals to bits. They're much better than people. And at the end of the day, I think if I won that kind of money, I'm going to fucking pass out in a minute. If I won that kind of money, then I would make sure that I'm ticking over, and then I would give the rest away to people that I've known in the past and all that kind of stuff that need a bit of help. I would not do major charities like the cancer charities and all this, that, and the other, because I think the money just does not go towards what it's supposed to do. If it did, would be a lot further than fucking electrocuting people's brains every time they get it. And I'd sort of do it that way, and just make sure it's ticking over, and then give to people that needed it. I'm not money, like I say, I'm not money driven. I love animals. I'd love to start an animal sanctuary. In fact, what I'd like to do actually is start something, whereas where they have these places where these rich wankers go and hunt animals and stuff like that. I'd like to actually have pay some people to actually go out and smash the guy's head in with a lump hammer who's trying to kill a lion, or just smash his legs so the lion has a fair chance and take his gun off him. Give him a knife, give him a loincloth. You're against the lion. If you can kill the lion, then you can be proud of it and show that you're an odd man and all this kind of shit on social media. But you're not going to do it by just shooting it, because that's just pussy shit.
That irritates me so much. It's like these absolute arsewipes that capture these young bears and they put them in these tiny little cages. I'm thinking, mate, I'd get hold of you and I'd put you straight in that little cage.
Yeah.
I'd poke you with a stick, okay, and see how much you like it.
100%.
I hate all that. And
yeah, I'm same, mate. I'm same.
Anyway, I'm going to bail, man.
Yeah, no worries, mate. It's been an awesome show. Really enjoyed it. Call your stuff out, by the way. Call your channel out and everything.
Yeah, it's Arsenal history and more. And we talk all kinds of Arsenal rubbish, basically. But get awesome guests on, and we have a good old laugh, good old chat about the Arsenal. And doing one, I think, Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, Kenny Ken, Northside London. We're going to do a preview about the Arsenal Barca game. That'd be unbelievable, because I'm going to have to set my alarm to get up at 3 Thursday morning to watch that game.
Yeah.
I will do it. But
it was better than Saturday.
Sorry? Oh, yeah.
I prepared better than Saturday.
Yeah. Well, actually, the game goes ahead because they came down with a virus. Apparently, they're confident it will. So,
you could also be facing Mbappe as well, because what I've heard today is apparently Barcelona have offered 3 players to sign Mbappe in exchange.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. But anyway, there we go. That's me. Arsenal history and more. Get great people on. Have a good laugh. Have a good chat. And mate, I have actually thoroughly enjoyed this show. We've talked about just about everything in the world. We've done Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, music, guitars.
Yeah.
We've put the world to rights on finance.
Definitely.
So, and everything. Brilliant, man. Thank you very much for inviting me on.
You're more than welcome. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in. Massive Arsenal since 1987. Quality, mate. R.I.P to Trevor Francis. He's an absolute fucking legend. Like I say, thanks to everyone for joining in. Thanks to Jess for joining me. It's been an absolute privilege to have you at the side of me. That sounds really weird. But anyway. Right, okay, so I'm going to drop the stream now. So take care, everybody, and have a good time. Have a good time. What the fuck does that mean? Anyway, see you later.
Take care, everyone.